Hi, this is Gregory Passman coming to you from beautiful Todd, North Carolina. This is the monthly message for January of 2022. Sandy and I have just gotten rid of a bout of the COVID virus. We tested positive just after Christmas. It's been about 10, 11, 12 days perhaps, and it was not terribly challenging for either of us. So we're grateful for our health returning. And if I look a little rough around the edges, now you know why. Anyway, I will be doing a webinar in February. That will be the Spirit Family Gathering 3, and more news on that in February. We haven't decided the date yet, but in February we will put that out on the monthly newsletter. And also, Home Times Radio, I will return in February as well, possibly on the 16th, but we shall see. So without further ado, let's jump into our monthly message, the channeling for January of 2022. Here we go. Greetings, we are the one who is called the Archangel Michael. Some call us Michael, you can call us whatever you like. We welcome you to this transmission, and we have a question for you. What would it look like if I were to reinvent myself? What would I look like? Not I, the Archangel Michael, but you. What would you look like if you were to reinvent yourself? And if you were to reinvent yourself, what would that look like in terms of steps? Where would I have to begin? Well, as you could expect, and as you have probably prophesied, the first thing we are going to tell you is you must change your beliefs about yourself. You must think differently. And you don't want to think differently because that requires work. And most human beings, and this will sound like a judgment, but it isn't, most human beings like to fall into their pattern of behavior, so to speak, and not change it. You call it habits, we believe, and your beliefs can become habitual as well. So, are you too old? Are you too fat? Are you too thin? Are you too beautiful? Are you too ugly? Are you too rich? Or are you too poor? What are we talking about? We're talking about your too beliefs. I'm too this, I'm too that. I'm too stuck in my ways. So therefore I can't try something new. Well, that's all nonsense. That's all baloney, as you say on your planet. That's not true. It's only true up here in your fantasy of whom you are. So, how do we set about changing that? Well, first of all, you decide that you can do something instead of can't. I can get up an hour earlier in the day, and I can accomplish a great deal more. I can do something athletic, like go for a walk, a swim, a bike ride. I can go to the gym. I can go to the dentist. I can go get a massage. I am worthy of having a doctor's appointment. What do you mean worthy of having a doctor's appointment? Who wants to go to the doctor? No offense to all the physicians out there. I deserve to have my health, and I deserve to be checked, to be diagnosed if that were the case, to have all of my vitals checked, so to speak. And I deserve to do that because the fear of doing it is less important than finding out about my health. The dentist. All of you love to go to the dentist, don't you? Of course you don't. But sometimes the health in your mouth is very important. That's where you process all of your nutrients. At least it's the first step. And so, taking care of your teeth is important. And what if I get bad news? There is no bad news. In other words, if a problem is found, it's good news because usually the professional you see can fix it. And getting it fixed means less pain, less stress, less worry, and an entirely new attitude. So, whatever you have been procrastinating when it comes to your health, or your physical condition, or your emotional condition, or your mental condition, perhaps it's time to break the pattern, time to be deserving enough to go and take care of some of these things. And what about resolutions? Well, we have found in our experience, at least with this messenger, they don't tend to last for a long period of time. Changing your habits can be a challenge. It can be difficult. But the truth of the matter is you can do it. And you deserve to do it. Back in December, this man went skiing, snow skiing, for the first time in quite a few years. He didn't fall, he didn't run into any trees, and he didn't break any body parts. Well, he was very happy about that, and he had a wonderful time. And at one point in the early afternoon, he grew tired, and he said, "That's enough. If I keep doing this in the fatigue state that I have reached, I will hurt myself." So he went inside to the lodge, and he sat in front of the fire, and he pondered the mysteries of the universe. What's the point? What's the lesson? The lesson is you'll know when it's time to stop. The lesson is you decide the condition of your own being, and you decide what is appropriate, what is moderate, and what is safe. That is the key. Let's return to our conversation about procrastination. If that book that you have inside of you wants to be written, perhaps this is the year to write it. And whom are you writing the book for? Yourself. You believe for a moment, perhaps, that you're going to help a lot of other people. But the most important people in your universe is you. And writing the book is an opportunity for you to tell your story. And your story's important. It needs to be told. Your story is unique. It is different from the story of any other individual out there. No matter what similarities you think you might find, the truth of the matter is, your story needs to be told. And what if the only people who read it are your descendants, your children, your grandchildren, your nieces, your nephews? Well, it's an opportunity for them to get to know you a little better. And it might teach them something. There might be some very powerful lessons in your story. So write it. What about painting, music, artwork, sculpture? What of all those things? You're not good at those things. Well, how do you know? You can't know what you're good at until you try it. And the only way to get good at it is to practice, do it more often, and do it for the fun of it. Forget about the end result. Find those things that you lose track of time in, those things that you enjoy doing. In December, this man made some candles. He had time on his hands as a result of his dis-ease, his COVID situation, and so he did some things that he hadn't done in a long time. He created some candles and he had a great deal of fun doing it. What have you not done in a long time that you could very well enjoy? Perhaps some time in the garden. Allow yourself on a day when it's a little warmer than normal to go out for a walk in the forest. Take someone with you that you haven't spent time with in a while. Give yourself an opportunity to drive over to the seaside, the ocean, as it were. Go to a pond, a lake, a stream, a creek, whatever it might be, and just sit down and listen to the water running by. See if there's not a message from the natural divas, the elementals, and the fairies. And give yourself some quiet time. Maybe it's quiet time with your cup of tea or coffee. Maybe it's a hot soak in the bath or the jacuzzi or a tub. Maybe it's an opportunity to visit one of the local spas and reward yourself with an experience you haven't had for a while. Oh, that's all too expensive, you say. Costs too much money. Well, if that's the way you're thinking, then you're definitely not worth it. But we would argue that you are worth it. And if you give yourself permission, you can reinvent yourself spiritually as well. What? How do I do that? Well, sit down quietly for just a moment. Right now would be a good time. And imagine you're sitting at a table with all of your guides and teachers, masters that have come into your life by your desire to help you and teach you and help you to learn. And just ask yourself, is there anyone here whom I need to replace? Is there any lesson that I've already learned that perhaps now it's time to replace or change my guide, my teacher? You would have to graduate. You would have to give yourself a diploma, so to speak, and say, I think I've learned that one. It's created a lot more prosperity in my life. I'm not so ill-tempered as I used to be. I'm a little more tolerant, more sympathetic, more empathetic with the people I'm around. I think I've learned that lesson. What's next? What's the next lesson? Is it that I can enjoy perfect health? I can give myself permission to be more social, to make more friends, to have more friendships. I can give myself permission to be a bit more creative. I can write, I can draw, I can sew, I can cook. I can do this, that, or the other. I could take a class in something that I've always wanted to learn. Maybe I could go horseback riding. Maybe I could learn to ride a bicycle, learn to go skiing, learn to do whatever. Maybe I could spend a little bit more quiet time in meditation or prayer. Maybe I could sit for a few moments in the morning with my eyes closed, listen to the birds, listen to the sounds of nature. Maybe I could take a short trip, go someplace that I've always wanted to go, and do it spontaneously. I don't have to plan it all out. Perhaps I just get in the car or on the train or the bus or the plane or whatever it might be, and allow myself a little bit of time to me. Maybe it's time that I contact some person that I haven't spoken to in quite a while. Have a chat. Find out how they're doing without any other reason than my curiosity. Oh, curiosity, that's a good one. Where is your curiosity leading you or not leading you? So what was our topic when we began? Reinventing myself, seeing myself from a different vantage point. Maybe you sit down on a piece of furniture in your home that you don't typically sit on. Maybe you get up on the counter and sit and see things from a little bit different perspective. Maybe you put a nice flat chair or bench or stool in the middle of the room and stand on it and look around and decide that maybe it's time to rearrange the furniture. How is that symbolic? Rearranging the furniture in your home, maybe getting rid of some of the clutter, the things that you don't use anymore. Maybe that's like decluttering your mind. Think about it and breathe. Where do you want to go this year? Whom do you want to be? What do you want to master? What sort of activity would you like to try? Something new, something recreational, play a new game, learn how to do something a little bit different. Give yourself permission to enjoy. Enjoy what? Maybe enjoy a different kind of food than you're typically eating. Try something ethnic, something different, something from another country. Go to the produce section at the grocery store and buy a vegetable you've never eaten before. Well, what if I don't like it? Well, how would you know? If you don't try it, you'll never find out. You'll never know. And instead of thinking that this will be the most disease-ridden year of your life, maybe you decide it's going to be the healthiest. I'm going to take on a little bit different mindset and give myself permission to get healthier this year. Maybe lose a little weight, maybe gain a little weight, who knows? Maybe give yourself an opportunity to talk to someone who knows about nutrition, who knows about health, who knows about alternative forms of care, alternative forms of well-being, alternative treatments, if you will. Try something new, something different. Give yourself an opportunity to allow yourself to breathe more easily. Maybe it's time to look hard at your relationships. Maybe it's time to use the word no instead of yes. Allow yourself to become a little bit less resentful in this life and create a little bit more time for yourself instead of worrying about the well-being of everyone else out there. And there's nothing wrong with that. We're not telling you to stop being loving and compassionate. We may be saying that it's wise to teach people how to do things for themselves instead of doing it for them. Maybe it's time to step up to the plate, so to speak. Maybe it's time to learn some new things on the computer. Maybe it's time to learn how to do a different tool. Maybe it's time to take on a new hobby, something a little bit different. Stop complaining so much. Try to be a little bit more positive. The moment you start to think of a complaint, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like the other, give yourself permission to imagine that you could like it if you gave yourself the opportunity. Maybe you don't like Brussels sprouts or beets or some other kind of vegetable. Why don't you try eating them a little bit different way? See if someone you know can prepare them a little differently for you. Or perhaps you could do it yourself. Give yourself an opportunity to rethink what you like and what you don't like. Because in the end, truth be known, it really doesn't matter what you like and don't like. What matters is what you can accomplish when you decide to change your mind. Or as the Course in Miracles points out, Change the way you see things, and the things you see will change. Indeed. We have faith in you. You may not, and that's okay. But we have faith in your ability to change. We have faith in your ability to improve. We have faith in your ability to do those things that you never thought you could. All of that is possible. The man Ashid chose the color behind him, the blue, because it's a color of love. Maybe this is the year that you give yourself permission to love yourself more than you ever have before. Remember, you are the center of your universe. Your universe is like concentric circles flowing around you, and you are in the center. So give yourself permission to see yourself as the center of your universe. Give yourself permission to be special, because you are. You are special. See this year coming up as an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to expand, an opportunity to think differently, to say I can instead of I cannot, to say I will instead of I won't, to choose yes instead of no. We have faith in you. And hopefully that faith is contagious. Hopefully the faith that we have in you and your soul has in you will filter down into your left brain and allow you the opportunity to have faith that your life can be the way you want it. You can do the things you want to do. And you start saying, I can, instead of, I cannot. The other one called the Archangel Michael. We send you blessings and love, and most of all, we send you faith. Faith in yourself, faith in the universe, faith in the Creator, faith in all things. Try it. You might like it. Oh, and don't forget to laugh. This is a good year to start laughing a little bit more. Why not start now? Now is a good time. So be it. Welcome back. This is Gregory Possiman coming to you from Todd, North Carolina. That was a message from the Archangel Michael. I hope that your 2022 turns out to meet all of your expectations. And I hope that it's filled with love and warmth and laughter. Be well.